It's been a while since I reminded you of my approach to the gospel according to Luke. My intention in preaching through Luke is to try to work through the book following the narrative. And so for that reason, I take large sections of Luke, knowing that we can't cover every detail, but rather we're trying to, as the saying goes, not miss the forest for the trees. We're trying to get the big picture of what Jesus was communicating, what was happening in his life. And I know some of you have only been here for a few months, or within. If you've been here for a year, I think we started in May of 2023. Luke is, the way I'm approaching Luke is a little outside my comfort zone. I would much prefer to take Luke 21 in 4 or 5 sermons. As I've done with other books, I think I preached Matthew with like 130 some odd sermons. So that's a little more my comfort zone. I wanted to do this though because it's important that as we study God's Word, we remember that it's communicated not in tiny snippets, but in whole books and whole letters and large scenes. And so it's good for us sometimes to do both. I like to think of Bible study as both deep and wide. And so Luke, we've been doing wide. That's been my approach. And I'm saying a lot of this because today's sermon, there's a lot of details that you may have lots of questions about. And I'm always happy to talk more if you have more questions. The other thing I want to mention, 2 other things before we get in, is as you'll see, I would highly recommend reading this section of Luke, Luke 21, or if you're in Matthew 24, or Mark 13, alongside the book of Acts. And read through the whole book of Acts, and then go back and read these passages where Jesus is predicting what's going to happen after he dies and rises. And I think you'll see some really important parallels that I'll point out today, though only brief. The last thing that I think is important for you to remember is a timeline. So